With the new Super Mario Galaxy movie out this week, I thought it'd be fun to remix the Super Mario 64 Bowser theme. So let's head on over to Ableton and do just that. But first, some fun facts. So, did you know the name of this song isn't actually Bowser's theme? It's Koopa's theme. That's, I think, because in Japan, he's not called Bowser, he's called Koopa. The composer, of course, is the legendary Koji Kondo. It's in the key of D minor, and the tempo hovers around kind of between 114 to 115. I couldn't get an exact tempo, but this was about the closest I could come up with. Hold up, this is supposed to be a Mario video, not a Zelda video. Okay, so here we have the Muse score file. I don't know if you guys can read music, but I can, so I kind of like having this. And then I'm actually gonna convert this to MIDI to import it into Ableton. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the drum set because I don't really care about that. I just care about kind of the melodic and harmonic content here. We see our main melodic figure here, the do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Then we have this kind of interesting counter melody coming up, and it's a really bizarre sounding instrument in the original. I'm kind of curious to see what I come up with for that. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna maybe export this as 2 separate MIDI tracks and then go from there. Bass clef and the treble clef. Okay, so here we are in Ableton. If you'll see, I have the reference track here, and I went ahead and kind of laid out the structure. Of course, we don't have to follow this to a T, and in fact, it might be recommended not to. So I'm gonna start off with some drums, and I'm going for kind of a reggaeton type deal here, so hear me out. Let's see what we can do. Okay, now I'm going to move to the bass, see what we can do with that. And let's get this treble clef over here, maybe in the trumpets. That might sound interesting. At that counter melody. And of course we want this to be lined up. And copy this. I have 3 trumpets kind of layered here. So let's see how that sounds. So I'm wondering just the top line, right? So we got to get rid of some of this. Actually might be easier to program in MuseScore. So I'm going to do that and then re-export the MIDI. Quantize. Make it. Just trying to fill in some space here with this pad. See what happens next. I feel like it's missing like a deeper bass, like a really gnarly sounding bass. That might be interesting. I want to add some bongos. Da, 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 da. All right, so I'm back here, day 2. All right, so I'm thinking when the drums come in there at measure 7, have like a cathedral reverb on there just to kind of fill up some of that space. I'm also going to get a reverse 808 kick in there to kind of create that anticipation. All right, so I'm kind of hearing like a sine wave thing here when, you know, those filtered drums finally get their filter completely off and we're kind of here with the main melody. Alright, so I'm not sure if this is like technically correct or not, but I'm just gonna leave it there for now. I feel like I'm kind of losing time on this sign. Okay, so I'm wrapping up day 2 here. I've made a lot of progress here. Yeah, I mean, I got the bass pretty much in there. I've been playing with this frequency automation and pretty happy with the way that's been going. It's kind of funny because I made a duplicate and I tried to like really closely follow the song structure, but it ended up sounding like poopy. So yeah, I decided not to do that. I brought in a trombone to double the bass melody, the da 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 da. I brought in a tuba to double my sine wave kind of pulse. And then I brought in a triangle, but I'm probably going to get rid of that. I brought in the Bowser laugh at the bridge section, and then I changed the snare drum to make it that kind of crunchy reggaeton snare drum. And I got this sample, the doo bass drum, that I'm pretty happy that I finally was able to track that down. And I brought in some very subtle accordion just to have in the background. And that's where I'm at right now at the end of day 2. Da, 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 da. So this is going to be the last day. I think I'm going to be pretty much done, but I don't know. I'm not super happy with it, but I'm going to see what we can do. I'm just going to go start kind of finalizing this and just, I need to get these drums separated out into separate tracks, and then probably going to do EQ and mixing and all that jazz. Wondering how this might sound with the lead on there.